In 2022, Cornell University published a study that should have ended the potassium fertilizer market permanently. A common garden weed, one that most American gardeners pull out every single week, produced more potassium in liquid extract form than any synthetic or organic fertilizer available at any price. 889 parts per million, the highest concentration ever measured in any plant, ever. And yet, the fertilizer industry is still selling you potassium supplements for $15 to $40 a bag. Every season, year after year, the weed is still growing in your garden right now. You probably pulled some this morning. Here is what the fertilizer industry never wanted you to calculate. One Comfrey root division costs $5 to $10 once. It establishes permanently. It produces harvestable leaf material 3 to 4 times every single growing season, indefinitely. The potassium fertilizer it produces for free would cost you $40 to $80 per season if you bought the equivalent from a garden center. After year 1, your fertilizer cost is exactly zero, forever. At GrowWise Vision, this is exactly what we dig up. The plant is Comfrey, specifically Russian Comfrey, Symphytum x uplandicum. And before you dismiss it as just another garden weed, understand what its root system is doing underground while you are pulling its leaves off the surface. Comfrey roots descend between 6 and 8 feet into subsoil layers that no vegetable root system ever reaches. Down there, locked in mineral deposits that rainfall and cultivation have pushed below the productive zone of your garden, sit the potassium, silicon, calcium, and trace minerals your vegetables are starving for. Comfrey pulls them up, concentrates them in its leaves, and hands them to you 3 times a season. In 2022, Cornell University Small Farms Program published the results of SARE Grant Field Trial FNE 2967 conducted at Unadilla Community Farm in New York. Researchers measured nutrient concentrations across 6 dynamic accumulator plant species. Russian Comfrey surpassed dynamic accumulator thresholds for potassium at 52,959 parts per million in leaf tissue and produced liquid fertilizer extract at 889 parts per million potassium after just 3 days of steeping. The highest potassium concentration of any plant tested, and here is the finding that stopped the research team completely. Comfrey also surpassed dynamic accumulator thresholds for silicon, making it the first plant ever confirmed as a dynamic accumulator of both potassium and silicon simultaneously. If you want more science like this translated into free practical tools for your garden, subscribe now. This is not a new discovery. Roman agricultural writer Columella documented large-leafed, deep-rooting plant incorporation into field soil in De Re Rustica, approximately 65 CE. Persian agricultural texts reference Comfrey-type plants as primary soil fertility tools. Medieval European farming communities grew Comfrey deliberately at the borders of every field, not as a weed, as infrastructure. 2,000 years of continuous use across multiple civilizations, and then the synthetic fertilizer industry arrived in the 1950s. Extension services stopped teaching dynamic accumulator management within a single generation, and a plant that had fed European farms for 2 millennia became a weed that gardeners pull on weekends. The knowledge did not disappear. It was simply never profitable to remember. Here is exactly how to use Comfrey in your garden. 3 methods, each one delivering the Cornell-confirmed 889 ppm potassium through a different mechanism. Method 1. Chop and drop. Cut Comfrey leaves at ground level 3 to 4 times per growing season. Lay them directly on your planting bed surface as a 2 to 3 inch mulch layer. Do not compost them first. Fresh Comfrey leaves decompose rapidly, within 2 to 3 weeks, releasing potassium, silicon, and calcium directly into the top 6 inches of soil where feeder roots concentrate. The plant regrows from its root within 4 to 6 weeks. Cut it again. Repeat 3 to 4 times per season indefinitely. Method 2. Liquid fertilizer extract. Steep 1 pound of fresh Comfrey leaves in 5 gallons of unchlorinated water for 3 days. The resulting liquid will be dark amber, slightly pungent, and loaded with 889 ppm potassium in immediately plant-available soluble form. Dilute at 1 part Comfrey liquid to 10 parts water before applying. Undiluted Comfrey extract is concentrated enough to burn plant tissue. Apply as a soil drench at 1 gallon per 10 square feet every 2 weeks through the growing season. Total cost per application, 0. The leaves grow back. The liquid is free. The potassium delivery is confirmed by Cornell University peer-reviewed research. Method 3. Comfrey compost activator. This is the method most gardeners never hear about, and it is the most powerful use of Comfrey in the entire system. Comfrey leaves contain extremely high nitrogen content relative to their carbon content, a carbon to nitrogen ratio of approximately 9:1. Standard brown compost materials run 50 to 100 to 1. Adding Comfrey leaves between layers of your compost pile accelerates decomposition dramatically, cutting the time to finished compost by 30 to 50%, while simultaneously inoculating the pile with the potassium and silicon that compost alone cannot provide. Layer 2 to 3 inches of fresh Comfrey leaves between every 6 inches of brown material in your compost pile. No chopping required. The leaves break down within days, releasing their nutrients into the surrounding pile material. Now let me give you the specific garden problems Comfrey solves, and exactly which method fixes each one. Problem 1. Tomatoes with blossom end rot despite regular watering and feeding. Blossom end rot is a calcium uptake problem, not a calcium deficiency. Your soil likely has adequate calcium, but lacks the biological and mineral conditions for plants to access it. Comfrey Chop and Drop applied around tomato base plants delivers immediately available calcium, along with silicon that strengthens cell walls and improves calcium transport within the plant. Apply 2 inches of fresh Comfrey leaves around every tomato plant base at transplanting and again at first flower set. Results are typically visible within 2 weeks as new growth shows 0 blossom end rot symptoms. Problem 2. Peppers and cucumbers with slow growth despite adequate sunlight and water. This is almost always a potassium deficiency, showing up as sluggish cell division and poor fruit development. Apply Comfrey liquid extract at 1 gallon per plant, diluted 1 to 10 every 2 weeks, from transplanting through peak fruiting. Potassium drives the sugar transport system that moves energy from leaves into developing fruit. At 889 ppm in the extract, your Comfrey liquid is delivering more potassium per application than most commercial potassium fertilizers at any dilution rate. The fertilizer industry spent 70 years making you believe that potassium comes in a bag with a price tag on it. It does not. It never did. It comes from a plant that grows back every time you cut it, that has been doing this job for 2,000 years, that costs $5 once, and that you have probably been pulling out of your garden and throwing away. 3 seasons from now, your Comfrey patch will be producing enough free potassium fertilizer to feed every vegetable bed you own. You will walk past the fertilizer aisle at the garden center and keep walking. The most powerful fertilizer in your garden was never for sale. It was growing there the whole time. Next, we are covering a complete pest control system that ancient farmers built from kitchen scraps and garden weeds. 5 fermented sprays that make your plants chemically invisible to every soft-bodied pest at 0 cost with 0 chemicals. If that belongs in your garden this season, subscribe before you leave and hit the bell.